Myanmar's ecosystem. It's an ecosystem. Everything is connected.
It's an amazing experience.
I'm here with Amauréé, right?
Amauréé, yes.
At the Haarwegskloof
Yeah.
Reserve, Renosterveld patch, critically endangered.
Yes.
Very cool place. I went out for a walk today, and you were kind enough to take me on a ride and show me some stuff.
Yeah, the special part.
It was very nice. And thank you so much for doing this.
I'm happy to.
It's the first time I'm doing a podcast at the reserve.
Oh, lovely. Well, hopefully many more.
Yeah. So I think I just want to maybe just tell a little bit about yourself, your position here, and the work you do here.
So you're
and
gonna
we
have
have
a lot
some
of
dogs.
you're gonna have a lot of sniffing on the microphone now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I studied at Nelson Mandela University. I mean, I've been interested in nature and conservation since I was a kid, basically. And I just loved being out in nature and camping with my family. And so when it came time to study, I was not sure what I wanted to study, but eventually decided on nature Well, I actually started with game ranch management.
Okay.
And it was a little bit rough for me. I think I resonated a bit better with the conservation side of things, so I eventually changed over to nature conservation. And went into research and loved it so much. I'm busy completing my PhD, so I'm not loving it so much at the moment.
Almost done.
Almost there. By the end of the year, I hope to be submitted. And then, I mean, during the course of my PhD, I really just felt like sitting in the office and writing up my PhD wasn't doing me very good. Yeah. So I needed to get out in the field, and I saw the position open here. And because I know the place and I know the people, I just thought it would be ideal for me. So here I am.
Yeah, that's great. But you mentioned something you already worked here before, right? You did your master's or...
Yeah, so I did my master's in the area, and while doing my master's, I was staying here, or while doing my field work, I was staying here. So that's how I know Odette and Grant. Grant wasn't here then, but how I know Odette and kept in contact. We actually, my lab kept some camera traps out in the area.
Oh, cool.
So we frequently returned to service the camera traps, and that was quite nice.
So was that your work was basically looking at camera trap footage?
Camera trap footage, yeah. So I studied the small antelope species in the area, their movement and their diet. So a lot of the work was camera trap based sampling, and then the other work was more fun for the first bit at least. So I was collecting dung samples from these animals. So I actually followed them
that work
around.
more fun?
It was more fun.
More fun than the camera trap?
Very much so.
Those dungs, I don't know.
And then I had to basically put them through a whole process and look at them under the microscope to try and determine what they eat.
What their diet is. Yeah, that's scat analysis stuff.
Yeah, so it was intense.
That's
and
cool.
It took very long, but we also got through that. So that's my motivation. If I can get through that, I should be able to get through the last year.
So what species were the focus for the scat in the camera traps?
So mainly the smaller antelope species. So there's steenbok, grijsbok, grey rebuck, duiker. And then there's also bushbuck, but bushbuck doesn't occur as widely in this area.
Sure, I'm actually surprised there's bushbuck here.
Wow. So they're mainly around the river systems in the area. So they prefer those denser habitats close to water.
Okay. And then in their scats, what did you find? Like how do you... No, first, let me ask first. How do you actually know what they eat?
Okay, so...
like a herbivore, for instance.
Yeah, so, I mean, you get grazers and browsers. And so these guys were either browsers or they had a bit of a mixed diet, which, I mean, made it a bit easier to identify the plants within the scat, so within the dung samples. So basically what I had to do is I had to collect samples of various plant species and then I made reference slides from those plants. And so I could see what the epidermis of the plant looks like. So each epidermis is quite unique. And the compilation of the stomata, sometimes they have little hairs that are quite visible on the surface. So that was all, I mean, a lot of them looked very similar, so it was difficult. It wasn't easy.
I can imagine this small shrubby plants.
So that's why that work isn't published yet, because I think there was also so much in the dung samples that I never identified. So they're just an unknown plant species because I didn't have samples for every single plant species in the area because it's so diverse. What was fairly interesting was I was stumped for so long by something I found in the dung samples, and eventually, like one night, I woke up and I was like, I know what it is. So I remembered I saw these berries growing. I think it was more around winter time that they were growing, and so fortunately, I had a sample of the berries along with the plant sample I collected, and I grabbed those berries and I looked at them under the microscope, and I was like, this is what it is. It was definitely what this is.
And that was like a big part of their diet. Or?
Yeah, so especially the smaller antelope like steenbok and duiker, they're actually quite reliant on berries. So I found quite a few berries in their diets. We have you might know it, Moraltia.
The tortoiseberry.
Tortoiseberry, yeah. So that was in their diet as well, which was one of the very interesting things that I found.
So you could see it in the diet, even though it's crushed up.
Even though it's crushed up. So it has such a distinctive look under the microscope. Yeah, so I could see. But it's such a process, because sometimes you find the skins of the berry, sometimes you find the seeds within the berries. So you have to have like a reference for every single.
That sounds super tedious, though.
It is. It is. Like I said, like there's a reason that hasn't been published, because
you're gonna want to try and replicate it. Like go in a field and squash the berry in a way, maybe, and then see if it's. That's probably what you did, right?
So well, I didn't squash them, but for a lot of these plants, what I had to do is I boiled them in nitric acid.
Ah, of course.
And then
that makes even more sense.
No, it was. I mean, and when that happened, so this is actually just a sidetrack. When I started my lab work for that, that was like when COVID lockdown hit. So I took my stuff. I took the microscope because my supervisor was like, take everything you need and take it home.
At least you could take it home.
I shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have.
So what happened is I started with the chemical part of it, and you have to boil the nitric acid, and usually you do that under like really controlled circumstances, and you do that in a ventilated area. That's what they recommend. I did it in a ventilated area. I was practically outside. But it wasn't enough. So what happened is I obviously breathed in the fumes, and eventually I thought I got COVID, and I was like, I haven't been anywhere. I was coughing, and I read up about it, and it literally breaks down the lining of your lungs. It starts breaking that down.
It's an acid, so I would think,
exactly.
That's dangerous.
That's the thing, though. I mean, we never take these warnings seriously enough until you realize how dangerous it actually is. So that was where I decided, you know what, my master's is not worth my lungs. I will wait until lockdown is finished and I can go back to the lab. Obviously that delayed my stuff quite a bit, but I think it was better than harming myself that much.
I had a similar experience. My master's was also over COVID, actually. And I was starting to grow, because I did it on the shuttle border. So I grew the beetles like in situ, in a test tube, basically. See how many you can grow, like from a woody substance. See how many grows out of it. How many offspring will they have, and da da da. We just started with that. It was like 2 weeks in, or 1 week in, actually. And then COVID hit, and then lockdown. I'm like, now what? I was like asking my supervisor, what now?
No.
I don't know.
Because I mean, no one's gone through that, so you don't know what to
nobody
do.
knows.
Nobody knows.
So we took it home as well, but obviously I couldn't make new ones. I just had what I had. So it's no result. I couldn't do anything with it. It's not enough. It wasn't enough.
So you had to like start over after.
Yeah, I made a totally different chapter. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I've been through it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
You realize that when you're in research.
It was a strange time. It was a real strange time.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like I've been through it as well.
Yeah.
You, and especially when you secluded like that. I don't know what your master's experience was like, but for me, we had a very tight-knit lab. And so we were always there to help each other, and we were always there for moral support. And then all of a sudden COVID hits and you're like working all secluded by yourself and you start going nuts.
Yeah. No, we were quite independent, our lab, but it was also nice to have people. Like I had a student helping me with the molecular work and that, which was nice. Yeah, that was a shame when that happened.
Yeah.
Just to see everybody and not be able to see them. That
No,
wasn't
it was
nice.
tough. No,
But
it was
anyway, we went
Yeah,
through it.
scary times, but we're through it, and we hope to never experience anything like that again.
Yeah, I'll never forget my supervisor. We did that online call stuff, I
That's
hated
where
it.
that started, like properly started.
Yes. But he was like on that call, he's like, do you still have motivation? Because I'm struggling.
You have to like give your supervisor moral support.
No,
Wow.
I didn't. No, that's not the case. It wasn't like that. He's just admitted that's not easy.
No, but that's sometimes it's good to hear from someone that's your superior, because sometimes you feel so useless struggling through something, and when they tell you that they're struggling as well, then
Yeah,
it
it
helps
you.
a little bit.
It helps.
You don't feel as
We're all human at the end of the day.
yeah,
Jeez,
exactly.
it's not easy.
No, it definitely is.
Research is a different thing.
It really, like, my boss has the word, she calls it kookalooks, and it really makes you kookalooks.
Kookalooks. A worksheet.
No, a word.
Oh,
Like,
a word.
Yeah, she calls it.
Kookalooks.
You go
That's
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does your work involve here exactly? I know it's a lot.
No, but
maybe-
I mean, at least we can get into that.
Maybe start with the insect stuff, because that's what I
Yeah.
saw now. With the
Okay.
pitfalls and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, that's something that's very new to me, because I'm very used to studying mammals and used to studying behavior of mammals. So now it's like something completely different. We are trying to determine what what diversity of insects we have in Renosterveld. So because Renosterveld is such a diverse system with diverse plant species, we also suspect that there must be a diversity of insects.
Definitely.
So with all the flowering plants now in spring especially, I think there's a lot of focus on the pollinator species as well. So what we're doing is we're setting up some pan traps and some pitfall traps to capture insects, and then use those insects to create a database of DNA for invertebrates in Renosterveld. And then we have this whole eDNA project, which will hopefully tell us, at least if it doesn't tell us each single species we have, it'll tell us the diversity of species that we do have in the area. So it's very exciting, and it's something that, I mean, it's been looked at in certain aspects, but it's not very well researched. So I think it's something that's very, very important to know. And I think it's also very exciting to the people who are interested in knowing more about that. Yeah, so that's only springtime. So besides for the insect work we're doing now for springtime, I also have some plant surveys during springtime. So we have some permanent plots where we determine, so we only started it this year because I'm the first really permanent person that they have on the reserve.
Okay.
So from here on out, we're going to be monitoring the vegetation every year to see how it changes over years or over time. And then we also have some plots that we are placing around our endangered species or our protected species.
I think that would be very interesting because Renosterveld, you should correct me if I'm wrong here, but there used to be a lot of antelope in the area, and it's interesting to see how the vegetation changes without the antelope. You know, all those major.
It gets very dense. Our conservation manager Grant has this saying that at this point, fire is the only tool we have in our toolkit.
You don't have the antelope
we
to
don't
do that disturbance effect. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and fire, I mean, you saw today what the fire did.
Yeah,
it was amazing. We were very fortunate to have as clean of a burn as we did, because it was a very clean burn. And then we also had quite nice rain afterwards, and I think that made the difference. So the plants coming up there now are so interesting, and the flowers are amazing. So yeah, that's very, very exciting for us to have that. So then monitoring, so getting back to my responsibilities, so in springtime monitoring is a very big part of it. During the year, I always do like to keep an eye on my mammals. So I've been, I'm so fortunate with the equipment that I've been provided. So I've been provided a couple of camera traps.
Camera traps are nice.
Oh, you can see into the secret world of animals. Yeah. So if you go onto our website, you can see I wrote a little blog about aardwolf.
Okay.
And so what I did when I got here, I immediately put up a camera trap at a random spot, and on that spot, I caught an aardwolf doing a pasting. So I don't know if you know what a pasting is.
Please explain.
Okay, so an aardwolf is part of the hyena family. And so obviously, you know, I'm doing my PhD research on hyenas. So it was really exciting coming here where everything is so small and seeing that behavior. So what they do is it's a scent marking behavior where they mark their territory. And there's a scent gland or there's an anal gland that they extrude, and then they kind of bow down a little bit and wiggle over a bush. And then they leave a bit of a trace on the bush, which is supposed to tell the others, you know, this is my area, keep out.
What did you say is this called?
Pasting.
Yeah.
So there's a
scent.
So there's a paste that comes out. I would say it looks very much like it's the texture of Vaseline, but just darker. And it smells really musty.
Hectic.
Yeah. So
I wonder if I sometimes smell it when I walk in the field and you don't even realize it.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, if you get, I don't know about the aardwolf, but I know about the larger hyenas. If you're walking in the veld and you get that on your pants, you'll most definitely smell it.
You'll smell it.
You will definitely smell it.
So human sense not that good. Our sense of smell is not that good.
It's not as good as animals, no. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fairly interesting, especially in terms of their sense of smell, what those pastings tell them about each other. They have so many messages that are hidden within that pasting, telling them a lot about the individual that decided to leave the marking. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so I found that, and they also have these middens that they create. So they leave scats in a pile, basically. They don't just leave scats all over the environment. So the thing is, the larger hyenas, they do this as a sort of territorial marking, but aardwolf don't do it as a territorial marking. They do it because they're such clean animals. So the scat doesn't, I mean, some of it does smell quite pungent, but it smells a lot because they eat termites. It smells very much like that termite smell.
That's their main diet, right?
Termites, yeah. So they're very, very reliant on termites. And we have a lot of termite mounds in this area. I think you saw in the burnt area.
There's a lot, actually.
There's so
there's
many
big ones as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, what I've read about it is agricultural practices actually create opportunities for termites, I'm assuming, in terms of food. So it makes the environment quite favorable for termites. And then obviously if the environment's favorable for termites, it'll be favorable for aardwolf and aardvark as well. So yeah, that was something that I just really enjoyed seeing here, because I felt like I brought a little bit of my, experience with me.
That's very cool. And like their territory, how many aardwolves do you think this area can hold? Is it like...
I don't know. So within 500 hectares, I've read that there's only supposed to be like a pair. So they stay in pairs, and then they also do stay with their offspring. But what I found is completely different. And I mean, I think it's also a case of nobody's studied these animals within Renosterveld and within this particular landscape. So I have found so far a minimum of 6 individuals on this property.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, it might be some that have territories outside that are just overlapping with our area, but yeah, so a minimum of 6 that I've found so far.
And how do you ID them on the camera?
So, what I've been using, which is the easiest for me personally, they have these tears in their ears. I don't know if it's from fighting, but...
That's so smart. That's how we ID the orcas, basically. Tears in the dorsal fins.
Okay, yeah. So it's a very common method, yeah. So the notches in the ears are the most distinctive features. But then you also get the younger ones who don't have the notchy ears yet. So then you can use the stripes on their sides to identify them if,
or wait till they get a notch.
Or you could do that, yes. Yeah, so, and then so I placed out camera traps at their latrines as well, or their middens, basically because they most of the time, I think they're quite suspicious of the camera. So they're facing the camera whenever they're urinating or defecating. And so you can get really nice pictures of the ears and the notches. But then you can sometimes also see whether it's male or female, which makes it ideal. So yeah, it's been...
I want to see some of these videos, if I may.
I can show you.
I've never
for
seen
sure.
an aardwolf ever in my life.
Oh my word. Yeah,
Never.
so I mean,
I've seen
haven't seen
footage,
them.
obviously, and photos, but I've never seen one.
I think it's
so
because
rare
they're rare and they're very shy and nocturnal. Yeah. So I saw one once during the day.
Wow. On this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You must have been so excited.
I was close to tears.
Yo, I would have cried. I was like, oh. It's like seeing a leopard.
But
a Cape leopard, I mean.
So the excitement was because it's strange to see them during daytime. And I have been looking for a den. I want to find a den so badly. So when it ran, I obviously assumed like there must be a den nearby that I've disturbed. And so I was looking for a bit and I found a hole, and the hole was, you could see it was freshly dug. So I have put a camera up at that hole, and there is an individual that has spent a night or so there. But I wouldn't say it's an official den. I'm just hoping, because it is a female, and I'm hoping she decides to have her cubs there. That would be so nice.
That would be so cool.
I would love to see aardwolf cubs.
Yo, that would be
It
nice.
would be great, yeah.
I have a question now, maybe a bit off topic, but a porcupine den, how does that like look different than an aardwolf den? How do you know, for instance?
It's difficult because, I mean, a lot of these species use those holes interchangeably. So as like aardwolf may not necessarily dig their own dens, they use dens that were previously dug by porcupines or something like that. So I mean, yeah, I'm not an expert on porcupines at all. So I couldn't tell you necessarily what a porcupine, hole or den would look like. Yeah. But yeah, I do know that they use these holes interchangeably. And yeah, I think it's very much a case of first come, first serve. Because on this specific camera that I put up at that hole, there was a porcupine sniffing around. I think there was something else as well. So I think it was, those 3 species that were testing it out for a bit and trying to see if it'll work as a house, which is quite interesting. But yeah, so I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. I'm going out there again tomorrow because you have to get quite close to the camera, but luckily it's Bluetooth, so I can sit a little distance away because my worst fear is disturbing something there. I don't want to be disturbing something just because it's nice for me to see or nice for me to monitor. So I can stand a little distance away from the camera. It's solar powered. The only time I really have to go up to the camera is if it's fallen over or if the SD card needs a change. But I mean, it hasn't been a problem thus far.
If we can just get Starlink, because then you can do some cool stuff. Because then you can add the connection to it. You can just sit here and watch it.
Right? It would
while
be
you drink your coffee
amazing.
or whatever.
It would be great to monitor from a distance because like you saw today, I was running up and down and love my job. I'll never complain. It's just sometimes you feel like you need to be in 2 places or 3 places at once.
Yeah, and you can't always,
No, so I wish I could tear myself in 2 and like do my job more properly.
Yeah. I can remember I've been walking in the field and sometimes, now that you mentioned the disturbance thing, because I don't know how you probably feel the same about it, but you can just feel you're in their space. You have a feeling like, I was not supposed to be here.
I feel like
I stepped at the wrong spot now.
Yeah, I think it's really quite a primitive sense that we've probably lost a lot of, but that we've kept some of it behind, where you just sense something is a little bit off. I mean, it's a silly example, and I think it's got a lot to do with our senses, like our sense of smell and hearing. I think a lot of the things we smell or hear, we don't necessarily notice, but our brain picks it up. Because I was out with one of my colleagues in the Big 5 reserve that I was working on, and we were busy servicing a camera and we were out the vehicle, but we saw this elephant bull that was approaching really slowly. Like he didn't look like he was going to cause trouble or anything, but we did just decide to keep an eye on him. And I can't remember, I think it was her that said, "Do you smell something? Something smells like a predator." And I was like, I do smell it, and I have been smelling it, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. And we're like looking if we stepped in something, or maybe we drove through some lion shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say that.
No,
but
you can. Don't worry. There's no filter here.
But yeah, so eventually I was like, listen, let's just, this bull is approaching. Let's just finish the camera trap setup and then we can figure out what the smell is later. And we finished setting up the camera trap. And as we pulled out of that spot, and we probably drove like 5 meters, maybe 10, there were like a pride of lions lying in the road, and they were so close. They were so close, and that was what we were smelling. I think it was probably fortunate we were probably downwind from them. That's why we were smelling them.
Yeah, and they couldn't smell you probably.
And they must have heard us. I don't know, because we were so close. But they were just feeding on a giraffe, so I think that kind of distracted them, and we were very, very lucky.
That's scary.
So once again, that's
the ultimate fear in the bushveld. Like, when you can't see the predator, you don't know.
Like the grass there was so tall, I would have never seen them. But yes, absolutely the ultimate fear. I mean, we were like, I don't want to say this, I want to touch wood when I say this, but we've been fortunate enough that, everyone who has been out in field have been so safely, and everyone's usually quite alert and looking around. So I think that helps. And I think it's just going to come down to, if you do encounter an animal, knowing how to interact with it, because when you react wrong, then you put yourself in danger and other people.
It's a difficult thing, especially if it's like a pride of lions. How do you react? Like, if they look at you and you're surrounding you, for instance, what are you gonna do? I don't know.
You try to negotiate.
If you leave me here, I'll give you $1 million.
I always said that, you know, I would rather run into a lion than a buffalo, because I feel like I could still negotiate with the lion. I could still like shout at him and make myself look tall.
Yes,
Where a buffalo just does not care.
They don't care.
No, they don't care.
Hectic.
So
Yeah. It's like the baboons here in the Cape as well. Like I've realized they can smell if it's a female or a male. Like if I walk alone and I get baboons, it's not a problem. But when there's a female with me, or you know, they can smell it, and then they're different.
Oh my word!
They're different.
I mean, I've heard of that same thing. On the campus that I was on, George campus,
Yeah, the
from Nelson
baboons there is
Mandela
a big
University,
problem.
baboons are a massive problem, and so the students are. I think it really started with the students being afraid of them, because I don't think students, you know, necessarily come into contact with wildlife when they're at home, and then they come onto this campus, and now all of a sudden there's baboons, and I think it's not natural to fear a baboon. They have pretty large teeth, and some of those males are massive.
Yeah.
So then, you know, they start fearing them, and the baboons started picking up that the students were fearing them. And that just made them, I feel like it made them so powerful, because now the students would come back from doing shopping in town. They'd get off the bus with their grocery bags, and the baboons are literally mugging them. The baboons are stealing their groceries. And I mean,
They become so smart.
they are too smart. They really are too smart.
Yeah, mammals adapt really quickly.
They do.
Super
And
quick.
I think animals are so much smarter than humans give them credit for.
In terms of adaptation, I think so. I think we've, as humans, have lost that touch because of how we developed.
Yeah, I mean, our development is excellent, but what it's done for us developmentally is not great.
However, if you take someone, they'll probably, you know, if it's a do or not, you know, if you have to survive, you'll adapt.
No, for sure.
You'll eventually adapt.
For sure, no.
It's a survival
I think we just have so little,
instinct will kick in.
how can I say, stuff that tests us to that extent these days, because we live so comfortably.
That's the problem. No? We don't have a lot of stuff that tests you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to listen your story with the PhD now, because I'm fascinated now about these lions. Almost killed you. So, was there more instances like that? Is it also in camera trap study? And scats as well?
Yes.
Or hyenas?
Of hyenas, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's actually so much. And I feel like it's nice when someone asks you about it and when you like touch on the topic, because otherwise you forget about these things completely.
That's so true.
So for my PhD, we were very fortunate to have funding from one of our French supervisors. So it's actually mainly for one of her projects that she decided to collar some of the hyenas that we were working with, which really helped us so much in terms of just identifying where there were den sites and identifying when there were large kills, which eventually helped anti-poaching to determine where there were like rhino carcasses or elephant carcasses, which was great. But to get back to it, getting a collar onto a hyena sounds much easier than it is. We got really excited about getting the collars, and then we were like, oh, well, we have to get them on. So
you have to dart them, obviously.
Yeah. So, and the vet was he was located about 3 hours from there. So now you have to get the vet out with full confidence that you're going to get a hyena. A hyena. Exactly. So
and it's not always easy to find.
Well, they've eventually, my colleague, she was really good at this, and I think she learned a lot from being there. So what we did is we basically called them in with a series of calls. So there's a buffalo calf call, and then there's a hyena hyenas feeding call. So those sounds basically draw them in, and then there is usually a reward, or there's always a reward for coming in. There's always a carcass or something that they can then feed on. And from that, we determined which one we wanted to fit the collar onto. Usually it would be preferably the dominant female, but that's a little bit difficult to determine. My colleague, she was quite well versed in hyena behavior, so she could say with fair confidence which would be the dominant female, but then it would also have to be easy to dart the dominant female and to get to her.
There's other factors as well.
Other factors that really played a role. So, but anyway, so we had that done. But in order to do that, we had to basically train them. So because you want to have the vet to have a fair chance when he gets there to get one down. And so what we did is we did that whole process a couple of times with each of the clans. And this one night we were calling in a clan, and it turned out to be a lot larger than we thought it was.
Wow.
And so we...
What is large?
I mean, it was like 30 individuals, so we didn't think it would be that large. And we basically started driving away, and they chased us. So we had to obviously pick up some speed. But eventually we stopped somewhere, and we turned off the vehicle to hear if we can hear anything. And eventually we just heard like the pitter-patter of their feet running on the ground, and they just found us. Their sense of smell, it's incredible. So yeah, that was one of the instances where, I mean, it wasn't a dangerous situation, but it was just so interesting to see how they track you, you know, and like it is like it kind of sends a chill down your spine.
Super exciting.
Yeah, it really was. And then this was not for my project, but I was involved in another project where we collared some lions in order to determine, you know, the pride dynamics and how that was structured and how lions move between prides and etc. Like I can't speak for the study because I didn't do it, but that was what I vaguely remember from it. And so for this specific study, there were two brothers, and they were very well known to be aggressive. So we were a little bit nervous the night before or the day before.
This is the Lion Brothers, right? Not the students.
No, Lion Brothers. Sorry, yeah, there's Lion Brothers. So there's a male coalition.
Okay.
And yeah, so they were fairly aggressive towards tourist vehicles. And yeah, luckily we had such an excellent vet. Like, he's really the greatest. And whenever he was around, I felt, you know, fairly confident that things were going to go down well. And so it was late afternoonish, and we had darted these two males. But because they were so big, I think maybe the dart either didn't go in properly, or there was maybe not quite enough to subdue the specific male.
Drugs.
Not enough drugs. And then, so we got to the male. He was lying under a bush. And as we start lifting him, someone actually picked up his tail. And that's quite sensitive. So when they touched the tail, this lion just like woke up and gave this roar. And they always tell you, do not run from a lion, because then you activate that hunting instinct. But it's very difficult not to run from a lion when it does that. Like, we all gave a few big steps. we were maybe not running, but we gave a few big steps.
Sure, but did it wake up completely, or was it like half
No,
awake?
it was very drowsy. So
Yeah, but still,
it's scary. It's really scary. Yeah, so it was quite hilarious. Like, the one lady was standing on the back of the bucky, and she was like, do you guys need another dart? And this one British guy that we had with us, he goes, no, I need a new pair of underpants. So we all related, definitely. No, it was quite rough. But I mean, afterwards we could laugh about it, fortunately.
Yeah, afterwards. But in the moment, you're like, nah, that's
but,
not cool.
No, it's not. But it's actually quite a frequent occurrence with darting lions because they're just so easily stimulated. And I think there's a lot of stuff that you should do to try and keep them as calm as possible. But I mean, a lion is heavy. So you can try and keep it as still as possible and you can try to keep it blindfolded, but like somewhere you're going to disturb it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the ultimate fear when you dart an animal. You don't know if it's going to wake up now or 20 minutes. You don't know how effective your shot was. Or, you don't know.
No, for sure. So it's definitely the risky work, but that stuff I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't say I miss it now because I feel like I've experienced it, and I would recommend everyone in this industry experiences at least once. Yeah, just do it at least once and see what it's about. But yeah, I am very happy where I am now, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I feel like I've seen all the big animal stuff now, so I feel like it's quite nice to get down into the ground with some smaller animals and insects and stuff. Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Renosterveld's very cool.
No, it is very cool, and I'm learning so much from the people that I work with in terms of the smaller things that I would normally not even remotely notice. So whenever people notice those small things.
What's so nice about this habitat is also there's so much more new things to learn that we don't know.
Very much so.
Many new things we don't know anything about.
For sure. And I mean, it's an endangered habitat, which, I mean, if something is specialized to this habitat, I feel like it's endangered as well.
Yeah.
So, well, then obviously it's endangered as well. But I just feel like it's something that's so overlooked. And I've always been the type of person that wants to look where other people aren't looking. And I feel like there's so much, and I mean, obviously the charismatic species deserve to be conserved as well. I'm not saying that they don't. But there's so many charismatic species out there that get the spotlight and that get, all of the funding for conservation. But
I want to hear, what is this charismatic species?
I don't want to say.
You don't want to say?
No, because I love them as well. No, I love them.
Okay, but
I
get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes down to something like Renosterveld, which a lot of people don't even know is as endangered as it is, I feel like it's worth putting your time into that, and I'm happy to work myself tired to do something good in this organization and system.
I was thinking the other day, if you, let's say for instance you were an old settler and you traveled through the Swartland, or the Renosterveld, but the Swartland's on the west coast side, But if you travel through summer, it will be the most awful place ever.
Yes.
Because it will be dry and it'll be
hot.
You'll think this place is awful. We should destroy it.
Very much so.
But then, if you traveled through winter, you would just see all these flowers, and all the game will be there because they would migrate to the raining season, and it's all about perspective.
It really is, and unfortunately, you can't force someone to have your perspective. So that's the one thing that I do enjoy about working here. And so part of my responsibilities is to take out guests on guided walks.
That's nice.
A lot of times it's people who know nothing about Renosterveld. And when you know nothing about Renosterveld, it's this grey, drab bush that, it doesn't really look impressive.
You need to look closely.
Yes, for sure. So, and I mean, the Renosterveld, a lot of the Renosterveld that we see today is also Renosterveld that has been restored from old farming practices. So the disturbed Renosterveld is that grey drab that you see,
Yes.
I mean, obviously when it's dry, Renosterveld does get quite grey, but especially when species like Renosterbos and Helichrysum take over, it's like that silvery color. So in those disturbed areas, they don't look impressive. And if you go look closely, they aren't really that impressive. But a lot of the patches that we, like the patch that I showed you today, where we burned, a lot of interesting species are coming out on the restored farmland. So it's probably never going to restore to what it was once, but there is a lot of like restoration taking place. And for instance, the black harriers are apparently like nesting in those old farmlands. So at least that creates a little bit of an area for them to breed, because they're also such an endangered species. So the more they breed and the more space they have to breed, the better for them.
Yeah, it's really cool. But the seeds can still be in the seed bank after such a long time.
Yeah.
And still come out. That's what's always impressive for me. These geophytes, very cool.
Oh, very much, yeah. And the geophytes around here are so impressive. I don't think I know half of them because I've only been here such a short while. And I'm learning, I feel like I'm learning as they bloom, because every time I see a new flower, I just
That's
go,
the only
what
way,
is this?
actually.
Yeah.
To practically see it is the best way to
It really
learn
is.
them.
It
Like,
really
seriously,
is.
you can go read a book, but it's not going to help.
It's not the same.
It's not the
no,
same
It's not
thing.
the same. But I mean, I've gotten kids here who, I mean, they have just been reading books, and then they get to Renosterveld for the first time, and they get ecstatic because they finally get to see these things they've been reading about.
in a
They see face to face. And
That's like me. That's how I did it. I read the Fynbos books, and then the first time I went in the Fynbos, you're like, oh,
that's great. No,
read about.
I love it when people are passionate about something, and especially when that something involves nature, of course. But
I love it when small students are passionate,
yes,
like 12-year-olds or 13, 14-year-olds.
Very
They're
much.
like, yo, that's cool.
Yeah. So what's really nice is, once again, one of my responsibilities is to host schools. So we've started out with schools in the area, and then the wind farms fund these schools to be able to come to us and experience Renosterveld and get a little bit of education on how threatened it is and how special it is. And so being able to see these kids experience it, and then, I mean, I think I always have this fear that they would not be interested and they would be kind of, blah about it. But then by the end of the day, we now have them do like a little art project, and then you see they really get into it and they really like get that conservation spirit going. So you don't have a lot of time with them, and they come about once a year. But I really hope that the little bit of time that we get to spend with them makes a bit of a difference.
No, it will definitely make an impact, I'm sure. Kids are very easy in a way. They don't want to be in school, They like stimulants, something different.
Yeah.
Like even, I'm a teacher now. Sometimes I do environmental management, it's a Cambridge subject. Then I just take the kids outside. Oh, I love that. And there's nothing really outside. We live, we're at the school's like in a farmland area. There's no real natural vegetation. But just being outside
I remember
and looking
that.
at a tree or a grass patch or whatever, they're just a different person.
Yeah,
Like
that's great.
They love it.
No,
They just love doing different things. So
yeah, getting out of that like boxed up classroom environment, I can imagine that making such a difference. Yeah.
These students you have, they're just here for a day usually, for a day outing.
Yeah, so it's usually just for a day outing. But that being said, like they come in the mornings after. So a lot of them get breakfast at school.
Okay.
So they have their breakfast at school first, and then they come. So they'll probably pitch here about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And then they also have to arrive back at school when the buses leave to take them home. So they already have to leave here about 12, maybe 1 o'clock.
So you only have like 2 hours with them.
You don't have a lot of time.
That's not enough.
No, it really isn't. But I think it's better than having nothing. and if we can have them come back recurringly, that is usually, I think, is a good thing. But yeah, we don't have that much time with them. I think we sometimes forget to be mindful about the fact that, especially these areas, like it's mainly underprivileged kids that come here, and so you can't really disturb their day and their parents, having to look after them and make sure that they get home safe. And, so it's unfortunate that we have those limitations, but I think there are sometimes more important things than us reaching them.
Yeah. True. But at least you have the facilities here. Like you can have small classes. Like I can bring my class, for instance.
Okay,
There's enough space. I don't have a lot of students.
Okay.
It's not like I have 30 students in a class.
Yeah. We used to have a bit more space, but then to try and get more, because it was really quiet here, especially after COVID. So to try and get more feet on the reserve, we started hosting retreats. And so the retreats are usually a little bit more upscale. So having a dorm-style accommodation with bunk beds wasn't really cutting it. And so we weren't having as many school groups staying over. So we decided to scale it down a bit in terms of how many people we can accommodate, and scale it up a bit in terms of the look and the feel of the place. Yeah.
No, this place has a nice feel.
Thanks.
I like it.
Yeah.
Quite, neat.
And cozy.
It's cozy.
Yeah, so thanks. Yeah, I mean, we've been putting a lot of work into it. I think they put a lot of work into it before I got here, because it already looked so much different when I first got here. So yeah, I think it's a lot of effort that's gone into it, but we're very happy with how it turned out. Yeah.
I want to ask, how many employees are on the reserve? Is it like a big team or?
So I am the only one on the reserve currently.
Okay.
Then we have a conservation officer who's not on the reserve, but he's obviously involved in the conservation management. He really helps me quite a lot, because this is my first proper job. So I'm still learning quite a bit, and I learned so much from him. And then we also have an extension officer who was appointed after me. And so he's moving to the reserve quite soon, actually. And he's basically working with the patches of Renosterveld on the private land in the surrounding area. Yeah. So it's just the four of us, obviously now with my boss included. Oh, and I can't forget, we have an admin lady, Sharon. She is the most perfect person. We call her the fastest payer in the world, because you send her an invoice and it's paid like that before you wink. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so she's really efficient and we love her to bits. And then we have staff that are not permanent. So because we don't have as much activity on the reserve, in terms of guests, we only have the staff come in around once a week, maybe twice a week if need be. So they usually come in on Thursdays, and we have 2 ladies working for us, doing the cleaning and making sure everything's ready for the guests when they arrive. And then we have a contractor who usually helps with the alien clearing, the fences, and I mean, he's such a star. He helps me with the pipes, the water pipes, because I feel like not a week goes by that something like a water pipe somewhere doesn't burst. So whenever,
water pipes.
I hate them so much. Oh, yeah. So, I always say he's my right-hand man. I don't know what I would do without him. So, so we have those individuals. I mean, Willie, the contractor, he has a team that works for him.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly how many people are in his team. But so I mean, it's unfortunate that we can't have permanent staff, but the team that we do have works so well. And I feel like it's such a privilege working with them, because Working with people that you love to work with is always a privilege because you get so many people who really can't stand their colleagues.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I want to ask about the invasives as well. I have many questions. I should. Do you guys have a lot of invasive species here, like rooikrans? What?
Yes,
here?
so not a lot on the reserve
So
itself.
I didn't see a lot. I just saw that small pimple, nipple, that simple. What do you call that thing?
I can't remember now.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about. That blue flower.
Oh, yes, pimpernel or
That
something.
thing, yes.
Something like that.
I don't really care.
No, I mean, we shouldn't.
Yeah, but that probably came from the old farmlands.
Yes. So that definitely you see that quite frequently on the old farmlands, and then we we have rooikrans as well. So, like I said, not a lot. I think it's been very well maintained in the previous years, so I don't have too much issues with it
I didn't see a lot of, even at the burn zone, I didn't see a lot of invasives come up, which is nice,
that's good.
actually.
That's good, yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised about that.
Yeah, so I think it's been very well managed in the past on the reserve, which is really fantastic. But I do know on the, especially on the neighboring side of us, there are quite a bit of pines, and then you obviously have these eucalyptus patches as well. And then the patches of Renosterveld that are on privately owned land, they do quite a bit of alien clearing on there as well. Yeah, so that's part of the management initiatives that they take with the landowners when they are keen to work with us and to manage their Renosterveld patch properly. We assist them with stuff like alien clearing and fencing it off so the livestock doesn't get in and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know what this farm, like who owned this farm? Was it also a farmer here who farmed with wheat, or what did he farm with?
So it was also, it was owned by the family of one of our neighbors, our current neighbors. Okay. So I don't know too much about the history, but I know it was in his family. And so Odette bought it with the help of WWF South Africa around 2012, I believe. So it was I think a big step for Renosterveld conservation, because this is currently the largest remaining patch of Renosterveld. Mm-hmm. The majority of Renosterveld is smaller patches that is located on privately owned land. So I think it's a very good step for conserving Renosterveld. Yeah,
I feel like the same has to happen in the Swartland as well, actually. There's also a lot of patches there that's just... I've seen, like, I grew up in that section, Belleville, and so I know about... Sometimes I go out there and go to the Renosterveld patches, because there's some nature reserves there, which is nice.
Okay.
You go there in the flower season, it's awesome.
I can imagine.
But, like I said, I've seen farmers just destroying Renosterveld still. I understand, they need to make a living, and they don't understand.
It's very difficult, the balance between conservation and people's livelihoods. I mean, I think this is a different scale, but if we look at communities that are next to game reserves, when those game reserves are fenced off, and these people who are used to hunting for meat, bush meat and stuff, now all of a sudden it's a game reserve and you tell them they can't do that anymore. I think that's such a tough social question, and I personally am not a social ecologist, and I really respect what social ecologists do, because I think it really takes a lot, and I think it's really necessary. but I also believe it's necessary for it to be done properly and done right, for it to be able to make a difference. Because I really think we should put more emphasis on the relationship between conservation and people, because you can't leave people out of conservation.
No, you can't.
You can't
They
leave
have to be there.
There has to be a balance. And we can also not, I mean, conservation is so important, but we can't conserve to the detriment of people. Because as soon as it starts harming people, people will start resenting conservation, and then you'll get nowhere. So it's a very difficult balance, and I don't think we as conservationists are always made for that specific balance, because we have such a focus on conservation itself. But I think that in the future, we really have to focus on finding that balance between society and conservation.
That's definitely true. You said it really well.
Thanks.
I agree. But yeah, I don't know how exactly what's going to happen in the future, because it just feels like people are just getting more and more estates is coming up everywhere. Where's it going? When is it going to end? You know, like.
And yeah, one would say population is increasing, which it is, but there's always also such a shift from like people moving. I mean, first it was people moving from north to south, and now I feel like everyone's moving back north, you know, so there's just always this growth of, and I mean, people do need a space to live, and people do need to make a living. But yeah, where does it, like you said, where does it stop? Where do we stop and say, like, enough is enough? Yeah, it's a really tough situation, and it's a really tough conversation to have as well, because
I feel like you need to start at the agricultural sector, and you need to convince farmers to be more holistic in their approach.
very much.
And I feel there are some farmers out there who's actually really open to it, and they're very smart, and they see a way how they can make money out of it as well. Because that's the end of that's the ball, the game. You know, you need to make money at least out of it.
Yeah.
You can.
No, you can.
Using nature, ecotourism is a thing, you know. Or you can make a whatever guest house or whatever, somewhere to stay, self-catering house or. So there is ways to do it.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's this, the start is by convincing people that what they own is valuable, because at this point, I think there's a lot of people who don't see the value in the Renosterveld patches that they own. To them, it's worthless, and you know, because they can't farm on it.
Exactly.
So, because they can't make money from it, it doesn't mean anything. It's rubbish. And I think as soon as you point out the special things, and they actually look closer, a lot of people are quite impressed by it, and a lot of people are interested. But you also get a lot of people who couldn't be bothered.
It's just because we don't know yet. You know, there's so much things we can discover from the Renosterveld. We don't know. You know how fynbos like Renosterveld is. It's full of medicinal properties, probably that we don't even know about.
Yeah, and that's probably knowledge that has been discovered by, you know, people who used to live here, but that knowledge has long died out.
No, we don't know about it. That's the sad
it's unfortunate. It really is.
All the Khoi people who live in this area.
I can only imagine
They
how
didn't
beautiful.
write down anything.
No, you
They
see.
spoke about it. You know, that's how they kept information. And now it's gone.
Quite sad. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes I like to think like what it looked like before all of it was transformed, and what occurred here. Because I think there's a lot of speculation about what occurred here. Obviously, there were some signs found, and there's probably bones and stuff. I don't know much about the history, but there should be evidence of some of the species that occurred here. I think that's more like up to paleontologists to speak on
I
that.
think the Renosterveld used to be a lot more grassy.
Yeah, so
than we
that
would
is
think, because of all the buffery. And there was a blowbok was extinct.
Yes, so that is
The
also
hunter out
speculated to have been here.
And it might have been an easy kill. That's probably why it's hunted to extinction.
Probably. Yeah, it's really quite sad. But I mean, I think that is what we're here for, to prevent that happening to more species.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's very sad. I don't know why they didn't care when that happened, but people were weird.
Yeah, I
Just
think it
killed
was
stuff.
just the culture back then. I don't think conservation was in anyone's minds at that stage. I think maybe they had other problems to deal with. Things like war.
No, definitely.
So
that's probably the reason.
I think maybe
survive.
To survive. Yeah, I can imagine conservation is going to be very low on the totem pole when you have to think about surviving. So, but yeah, I think it was also only in later days when people became more settled, and they didn't have that drive to survive anymore. That at least that need to survive, where they could actually sit back and appreciate nature, and then they started realizing, listen, like there's something's not right here.
Yeah, now that we are healthy and we have food,
Yes.
now I can appreciate nature.
Now I can look at the nature and
Now I
then
have a shelter, I'm okay.
yeah.
Yeah, now that bird is singing nicely.
Yeah, like it hits
like that.
different in the morning. Yeah.
But when I'm hungry, nah. Screw that bird, I'm afraid of a stone.
Exactly.
It's seriously like that.
No, for sure.
Like you can just imagine you had to survive out in this piece of land in the summer. Hectic.
I would be grumpy. I'd probably be killing
I would
stuff
be
too.
very grumpy. You have to walk this vast Renosterveld area. Yo.
No, it would be.
Obviously, I would shoot a blowbok. Yeah, I'll shoot it. Hell.
Because, I mean, but also, especially because when it's so hot, like your energy levels, I mean, working here, I've experienced it. Your energy levels are just depleted so quickly. So I would also probably make sure I have enough for tomorrow as well. something to keep me going. I need more energy to hunt another one at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. But I can't think there were rhinos here, but they said there were.
Apparently, I mean, it would make sense. I mean, there were hippos here, like there definitely were hippos here obviously in the river systems. And there are also stories, so from the farming community, like we've heard stories about lions and people who farmed here historically who had issues with lions. So the one that was like quite stood out to me was about this farmer. He had to go away for some reason, and so he left his wife on the farm with the farm workers, and eventually, I don't know how it came to the wife because they didn't have cell phones at that stage, but the message came to the wife that there's a cat in the bush, and so she...
When was this now?
It was one of the farmers. I don't know who it was.
What year was it?
It was, I don't know, someone just told me this story, and it was apparently just really long ago. So there's a cat in the bush, and so she went out, obviously thinking, well, they wouldn't, they wouldn't call me for a simple cat in the bush. So she took, a firearm with her, and eventually this farmer's wife shot a lion because this lion was sitting in the bush near the houses of the farm workers and obviously posing a bit of a threat. So it's sad to know that there were lions here and that they no longer are here. But also I can absolutely understand if they pose a threat to you and your family, like you would want to take care of the problem.
Yeah.
I can
No, definitely.
I can totally see that.
I just think you're at night and you just hear the roar of a lion outside
it's
your window.
beautiful when you're in a reserve and you know you're in a house and you're
And you're
safe,
safe.
and like there's a fence around
But
you.
if it's not, it's
Yeah.
a different story.
If you know you have livestock out there and you hear this lion roaring, I think your perspective is going to be a little bit different.
Then your food's gone.
Yeah. No, so it's like I said, it's quite a tough situation.
Yo, would you like some more wine?
I'm good, thanks.
Are you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. So it's been a great adventure for you.
It really has. I mean, it's brought me here where the peace and quiet is absolutely lovely. I wouldn't say I'm sitting back and relaxing, but it's definitely a different environment, and it's I want to say it's less fast paced, but I think I also put a lot of pressure on myself to get a lot of stuff done in a day. Especially, I think it's just because it's springtime. You know, springtime is just such a springtime is only this long, and you have so much that you have to get done in this time. So, but it's just a different environment, and the people here are so lovely. I mean, and I'm speaking of like the people in the area around me and the people in town. It's such a Bredasdorp and Swellendam. I mean, the people that I've met, and it was like it's through casual things that are so simple. So like, for example, I bought a second-hand couch from a lady, and I got there and she received me in her home like I was family. So it's just the warmth of the people.
That's nice.
In the area. Yeah, they have this I mean, I can't think of any other word like this Afrikaans word, plattelandse people. Like they're so warm and welcoming and down to earth. Yeah, so they are very, very kind and very warm, and I've only felt welcome in the area. So it's definitely nice. Yeah,
that's lovely.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, you can feel the energy in a place. You know.
Yeah, it's just different.
I don't want to sound like a hippie now, but
no, for sure.
But sometimes you can just feel like, okay, this place is alright.
Yeah, you can, and that's how I feel, and I think it's important because if you don't feel welcome in a place and the energy is off, then I don't think you'll be as happy living there. So that's quite nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll take some more students here on the Renosterveld?
Well, I think that's the plan. At this point, I don't think that I wouldn't say that we have the capacity because we can definitely use the help. But I think in terms of, because students need a specific type of experience, we might not be able to offer them the whole variety of experience that they require. So that's always a tough call, and I think it's important to look at it from the student's perspective as well, because we don't want to be, I've heard of a lot of places where they just see students as cheap labor, basically. So you bring in students to come and do the grunt work and you don't pay them a lot. And I don't want to be that kind of, I don't see us as that kind of organization. So if we bring in students, I want to be assured that I would be able to give them the full range of experience that they need. And obviously everyone has to start at the bottom and everyone has to do grunt work, but I want to at least be able to offer them what they require before bringing them here.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yo, thank you so much. I think we can wrap it up here, right?
Wonderful, yeah.
It's getting late. You still need to work tomorrow, so...
I need to go unpack because I've been moving today. So
yeah, you've been moving to a new place today.
Yeah, clear the boxes off my bed so I can have a good night's rest.
Yeah, keep up the great work you're doing here.
Thank you
so nice
much
to meet you, and
No, it was really nice meeting you as well.
Yeah.
And thank you for this. I was a little bit intimidated by it at
Yeah,
first,
and now
but
you're
it
not.
was not at all. It's been so nice. We were just having a chat. So.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
it's fun.
it's awesome. So it really encouraged me to get out of my shell a bit. as well, because living here, it's really easy to just get stuck in your shell and not socialize with people. So
Yeah, you're quite far away from people here, sure.
yes. So I mean, it's not bad. I think I'm well adapted to this lifestyle, but it's not always good to be that well adapted to being alone. So you should put yourself out there. And I used to be the kind of person who said yes to everything, you know, and even if I didn't want to go somewhere, I said yes. And you never regret new experiences or
No, you
seeing new
don't.
places.
You never do.
And I felt like I
Even though it
lost that.
feels bad at the start, but then
Yeah.
no, you don't regret it.
No, you always like see new places, and I think like meeting new people, especially, that's something you can do quite close by. You don't have to travel too far to meet new people, and
No, you don't.
it's always rewarding, and you never regret that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
I
it's a
think
pleasure.
I've gotten a little bit of my old self back.
Great. I'm glad. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Good.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like my dogs are properly asleep.